If I told you that someone lost weight eating nothing but junk food, would you believe me? Because that actually happened. A nutrition professor once did an experiment where he ate mostly Twinkies, Oreos, and chips for weeks, and he still lost weight. So, what does that mean? Can you just eat junk food and still get lean? In this video, I'm going to break this down so it finally makes sense. Alright, let's start with the simple science. Your body runs on energy, and we measure that energy in calories. You're burning calories all day long just to exist. Your heart needs them to beat, your lungs need them to breathe, your body needs them to stay warm. And that's before we even count the obvious stuff like walking, working out, or even just digesting your food. And over time, it's a pretty simple equation. If you eat more calories than you burn, your body stores that extra energy mostly as fat. But if you eat fewer calories than you burn, your body has to get that energy from somewhere, so it starts pulling from its energy stores, again, mostly fat. This is called energy balance, and it's one of the most solid, well-proven concepts in nutrition science. Whenever researchers strictly control calories in studies, they see the same thing. People in a calorie deficit lose weight. People not in a calorie deficit don't. No calorie deficit means no fat loss. There's just no getting around it. So, let's go back to our junk food professor. He set himself a strict calorie limit and filled it mostly with Twinkies, cookies, chips, and sugary snacks. No magical superfoods, no detox smoothies. Just lower calories than he was burning. What were the results? He lost weight. Some of his health markers improved, largely because losing weight itself helps things like blood pressure and cholesterol. So in a technical sense, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, even if those calories come from bad foods. But here's the problem. Possible is not the same as sustainable. Eating mostly junk usually means you're hungrier, you're less satisfied, you crave more sugar and snacks, you feel sluggish, and you're much more likely to overeat and quit. That's where what you eat starts to matter. Now, let's flip it. On the other extreme, a lot of people say, I don't get it. I eat really healthy and I still can't lose weight. And often they're telling the truth because healthy and low calorie are not the same thing. You can absolutely gain weight eating things that are organic, whole, unprocessed, vegan, paleo, gluten-free, clean. Some examples of healthy but calorie-dense foods: nuts and nut butters, olive oil, avocados, granola, smoothies. Not that these foods are bad or that you can't eat them and still lose weight, but you have to be careful that you're controlling your portions because the calories can stack up easily. So you could be eating home-cooked, whole foods, snacking on nuts and healthy bars, drinking smoothies and using extra virgin olive oil, and still be eating more calories than you burn. Result? You're healthy, but you're not in a deficit. So your weight doesn't move or even creeps up, and it feels incredibly frustrating because you're doing everything right. This is why just eating healthy isn't enough for fat loss. You need healthy and the right amount of calories. So if it all comes down to calories, why bother eating healthy at all? Because calories decide whether you lose weight. Food quality decides how easy it is to stick to the plan. Two people could both be eating 1,800 calories. Person A is starving, thinking about food all day. Person B feels pretty satisfied and could keep going for months. The difference isn't the number. The difference is macronutrients and food choices, especially protein, fiber, and food volume. Let's break it down further. 1. Protein. Fullness and muscle protection. Protein is like a cheat code for fat loss. What research shows protein does? Keeps you full longer than carbs or fat costs. Your body more energy to digest, meaning you burn a few extra calories processing it. Helps you keep your muscle while you lose fat so you look and feel better, not just smaller. When people increase protein, studies consistently find they naturally eat fewer total calories, feel less hungry, lose more fat while keeping more muscle. Example, 500 calories of cookies versus 500 calories of chicken or tofu veggies, maybe some rice or potatoes, same calories. But the higher protein meal keeps you fuller longer, supports your muscle growth, and makes it much easier to stop eating afterward. 2. Fiber, the stay full longer carb. Fiber-rich foods include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, and lentils. Fiber helps you by filling your stomach with bulk for fewer calories, slowing down digestion so you feel full longer, helping keep blood sugar more stable, fewer energy crashes and sugar cravings. Here's an example. Compare 400 calories of chips to 400 calories of a bowl of oatmeal with berries and some nuts, or a big plate of veggies, chicken, and rice. Same calorie count, but the high fiber, higher protein meal takes up more space in your stomach, digests slower, keeps you satisfied much longer, which brings us to our next point. 3. Food volume. How much food you get to eat. Food volume equals how full your plate is. Highly processed foods like candy, chips, pastries, fast food are usually high in calories, low in volume, low in protein and fiber. Whole or minimally processed foods like lean meats, eggs, potatoes, rice, oats, fruits, vegetables, beans are typically lower in calories for the same volume, higher in protein, and much more filling. So, 600 calories of fries might be gone in a few bites. 600 calories of chicken, potatoes, and veggies can be a massive, satisfying meal. Same calories, one leaves you still hungry, the other makes your deficit feel way easier. So, let's finally answer the question. Can you eat whatever you want as long as you hit your calories? Technically, yes. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, whether it's from junk or health food. You can also eat super healthy and still gain or maintain weight if your calories are too high. But for real world, long term success, calories control your weight. Food quality controls your hunger, energy, cravings, and how sustainable this feels. The best approach for most people: respect the calorie deficit. If your weight isn't trending down over time, you're not in a deficit, no matter how clean you're eating. Prioritize protein. Rough starting point: about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. Load up on fiber and volume. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, lentils. Meals that actually fill your plate and your stomach. Don't fear healthy fats, just measure them. Nuts, nut butters, avocado, olive oil equals great for health, but calorie dense. Use them, but be mindful of portions so they don't quietly blow up your calories. Leave 10 to 20% of your calories for foods you love: chocolate, ice cream, pizza, snacks. Plan them in instead of pretending you'll never eat them again. Ask this question: could I continue eating like this for 6 months? If yes, you're probably on a sustainable path. If no, either your calories are too low, your food choices make you too hungry, or both. So here's the bottom line: you can lose weight eating junk if your calories are low enough. You can gain weight eating nothing but healthy foods if your calories are too high. Fat loss always comes back to calories in versus calories out, but protein, fiber, and food quality are what make that calorie deficit livable. If this helped you see why eating healthy doesn't always mean losing weight, liking and subscribing helps more people find videos like this. Remember, you don't just need a healthy diet, you need the right amount of calories and a way of eating that keeps you full, energized, and consistent.